Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show, the Mac Merlin Show, that is. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for attending. The show is all about building keyboards from the hardware to the software end, and tonight we're doing a bit of software. So thanks, everyone, for joining in. Let's see, who do we have on tonight? I see a Zark, I see a Cozy Fanatooty, Bleeding Skull, and Static Age. Thanks for joining in, all y'all. Let's see. What are we drinking tonight? Here we go. Tonight, well, if you guys remember, last week I started drinking mead. Mead is a honey wine, and I picked Author Mead Company last week. I've been very curious as to what other meads there were, so this week I picked this up. Check it out. Hierophant. This is a meadery that's located here in Washington, down in Battlefield, Washington. If you guys have ever gone from Washington to Portland, Battlefield is, I think, 2 exits right before Portland. Oh, Static Age subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. T Wizzle, thanks for joining in. Subscribing at Tier 2. Subscribe for 4 months. Thank you for all the support, guys. Let's see, what else can I say about this mead? I actually haven't tried it yet, so you guys will see my live tasting experience during the stream. Let's play some tunes. Let's play some tunes here. All right. Yeah, so unlike the canned mead I got from last week was only 6% alcohol. This one's 12%, more in line with what a wine should be, in my opinion. And this particular mead is called I think it's called Chrysopia. And if I remember my Greek or whatever this is correctly, I think Chrysopia means turning into gold, maybe like transmutation into gold. So not quite magic, more like alchemy. But it's a good thing that I'm using DSA alchemy on my series, so it still fits. Duncan Yo-Yo says, hello everyone, hope you're all staying safe. Same to you. Bleeding Skull says, Teja, where's your glasses? Here. I have a glass, but not glasses. Alright, let's see how this mead is. If I like it better than the can. This one was only, what, $13? $13 for a 750 milliliter bottle, compared with $15 for 4 cans of the Author Mead Company. Let's see, Bleeding Skull has followed. Thanks so much, guys. Alright, it doesn't smell as strongly as the Author Mead one. It's a little drier tasting. So like the honey flavors aren't as pronounced. It's very interesting. I'm gonna say, just on the few sips that I've had, I prefer the Author Mead cans better. But who knows? We still have the rest of the night. Let's see, people are talking here. Meister Manny says, hey Merlin, can you help me? I can probably help you after the stream, but not during the stream, as we have a itinerary, we have an agenda for tonight. Alright, let's see, what are we doing tonight, guys? You guys might have heard of a board called a TGR Jane, in which I have a disassembled unit of. Yeah, so this is the top half. And the bottom half is... Let's see if I can grab it for you. Here we go. Oops. Here is the bottom half. Look at that. Here, let me put the weight on there. It's supposed to go on like that. And if you guys remember, I got this from Yuxi himself long ago. A bunch of people had asked me to get QMK on the TGR Jane, So I reached out to Yuxi and I was like, hey man, can you send me the schematics or send me a PCB I can trace? He's like, sure, I'll send you stuff. And yeah, you know, I just expected a PCB or stuff like that, right? But what he sent me was an actual unit. I was like, holy crap, dude, you did not have to do this. So I essentially got a free Jane. So this is it. He also sent me, let's see. He also sent me 2 circuit boards, an Alps one and a regular MX based one. So the switch matrix for the 2 are identical. The only thing different is the footprint. So I've got this. A couple months later, Heine actually sent me a natively QMK powered PCB. So when I do build this board, which I'm thinking might be this Saturday, I'll be using Heine's PCB because he already has VIA as well. And he also has ESD protection, which Bootmapper client boards do not. Let's see, he's talking. Duck Butter says, what programming language are you proficient in? I am probably most proficient in C and Ruby. Yeah, so tonight's agenda. There was a recent pull request that got raw HID implemented for VUSB devices, such as an ATmega32A microcontroller, which is present on Bootmapper client boards. Before that, you couldn't get VIA on Bootmapper client. So with that pull request in place, we should be able to do this. My preliminary tests show that this is possible. So I would actually like to put it on an actual well-known PCB such as the TGR Jane. With this, I'm hoping that VIA will be a complete Bootmapper client replacement. For the longest time, people who had Bootmapper client boards were like, okay, QMK is great and all, you can do all these amazing things, but I absolutely hate the fact that I can't just change my key map whenever I want. I have to reflash the board, I have to remake a key map, yada 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 yada. And if I just want to change my colors, like my underglow from like red to blue, I have to reflash my board again. I'm gonna stick with Bootmapper client. With VIA, hopefully this will get people to move on over to using QMK and VIA. And that is the goal for tonight, guys, because that would be amazing. This is not the newest TGR Jane that you can get. I believe the newest one is the TGR Jane V2CE, which is still being shipped out to customers. I'm not too familiar with that particular group buy, but I think that those PCBs come with QMK natively. Jack Static, please, 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 yes, my Jane V2C just got here, would love VIA on it. Different PCB, but if someone would hook me up with a V2CE PCB, yeah. What is my perfect keyboard size? I like to rotate through a keyboard, so Jack Static, definitely hit me up after the stream or send me a Discord message and we can talk about what needs to be done and all that. But yeah, I would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, just like contact me after the stream. Let's see. Duck Butter says, yeah, what is your perfect keyboard size? I like to rotate between 60s, 65s, and 75s. Once I build this TGR Jane, this will effectively be the very first custom TKL that I own. Oh yeah, we'll see. We'll see all about that. Jack Static, why do you have 3? Did you just buy like extra PCBs as a just in case? Or do you actually have 3 TGR Jane V2Cs? Because that's like hardcore if you actually have 3. Yeah. Yeah, GMK Merlin should be shipping soon. GMK Merlin is what's going to go on this board. Just because if you guys remember the renders I did for GMK Merlin, it was actually on a blue TGR Jane. Jack's got 2 extra PCBs and 4 extra plates with the GB. Wow, that is hardcore, but that is pretty awesome. I'm glad you were able to do that, and I'm glad that things shipped, especially amongst all of this coronavirus crisis. Duck Butter says, how many keyboards do I own? If there was one you could not get rid of, which one would it be? I have far too many keyboards. I don't think I'm particularly attached to any one of them. Like, I kind of like them all the same. You know, it's like I like them for like different purposes. Like, for example, this Sirius right here. I love how light it is and like the sound that it does when I'm typing on it. It's like a no frills board that I really like. See what's another board that has Satisfaction 75. I really like that just because it's my smoothest board. Let's see what else. Volcano 660 is probably my heaviest board, and it's my favorite layout too, so I swap that out every now and then. And there are quite a few others. I am really looking forward to trying out my TGR Jane. Like, I have a build all planned for it already. I'm gonna put on linears that have been lubed with 205G0. I've had these forever. So putting these on, should have 87 of these switches. But once again, yeah, I'm not putting it on this PCB, I'm putting it on Heine's PCB because ESD protection is very important to me. Yeah, so let's see. Oh yeah, Mr. Zark is complaining it's 30,000 points. I still need to take care of that. Celtic says, you planning on trying Polaris anytime soon? I would love to. That is probably one of the group buys I'm going to greatly regret not joining. Just because, you know, I had such a bad experience with my KBD67 Mark II that I was like, okay, sure, Polaris is more expensive. It's a nicer board too, but I'm a little bit hesitant on spending money and getting a chipped board again. How's the 3D printed case to use? I'm super curious to try one out. It works like a case, I guess. Alright, let's see. If you guys have never tried VIA before, VIA is a GUI for QMK. Prior to the existence of VIA, every time you wanted to change your key map on your QMK powered board, you would have to edit the key map file, recompile your firmware, and then flash that compiled firmware file onto your board. You know, like, even if you just wanted to change one key, you would still have to do this elaborate process. Over time, you just get used to it. But what if you don't really have a development environment? What if you're not used to all this? This is where VIA comes in. VIA just changes key maps dynamically. You want to change A, you just have to open up the VIA tool, click your A button, and change it to whatever key you want, and your keyboard is instantly programmed. So we're gonna try and get that on the TGR Jane because Bootmapper client is dying. Well, it's already dead. Ever since WinKeyless shut their doors, I don't think anyone maintains that tool anymore. Alright, okay. So to get VIA on your board, to get VIA to support your board comes in two phrases. The first phrase is to get QMK Firmware VIA enabled. And the second phase, is to get VIA to recognize your board. Let's see. Let's start with the coding. Let me set this up real quick for all of you. You can see what I'm doing here. Oops, not that button. Out of curiosity, out of the, let's see, how many people are watching right now? 36 people watching. How many of you have a TGR Jane? Regardless if it's V1, V2, or V2CE. So far I know at least one of you does. Jack Static. Alright. Man, I'm just like looking at my OBS settings here and I realized my face is super tiny on my programming scene. Let me increase the size there and boom. Boom diggity. Alright. Looks like QMK supports 3 TGR boards, the 910, the Alice, and the Jane. And yeah, right now we're concerned about the Jane. Noben says, thanks for all the help. Got my motherboard and my MB17 working with the Pro Micro. I desoldered the Elite C. It's a pain in the ass. Desoldering Pro Micros or any of those breakout boards are truly a pain in the ass. Okay. Alright guys. So to get VIA supported on your board, you have to operate in the QMK Firmware repo. Navigate to the Jane folder or whatever keyboard you want to add VIA to. Go to the keymaps directory. And what I like to do is take the default file or the default keymap, copy it, and paste it like so. And then rename it as VIA. And guess what? You're almost done. Okay, so a couple things you want to do to edit this. Let's see. First off, make sure your copyright settings are all good. VIA, by default, supports 4 layers. 4 layers, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Layers 0, 1, 2, and 3. If you do not define them all, they will just appear as garbage. Like the stuff that's in them will be garbage. So the best way to make sure that things work out is to actually define all 4 layers. Keep them empty if you absolutely have to. Hold on, let me see if there's already a empty thing I can do here, so I don't have to go through everything. No, it does not. Okay, let's... Shoots. No, it seems like a majority of QMK keymaps for TKLs only have the first layer defined. So I can't just copy and paste. The Zark says, what Mac do I use for streams like this? I use a Hackintosh, actually. So my Hackintosh is equivalent to I'd say it's equivalent to a 2019 iMac Pro. Zark says, out of curiosity, can you do 1 equals KC trans, 2 equals KC trans, etc.? Oh, just with one? No, because it works like an array. So if you only define one of them, it's not gonna like you. Here, let's do this. Let me just show you. 1 equals layout TKL and C, like so. Let's do that. And what did you want it to be? Equals, okay. Let's do it like that. KC trans, like so. Yeah. Where is it? View terminal. You will be very sorry because that's not gonna like it. Yep. Golovkov says, and it's a macro even. Yeah, it's a macro even. So yeah, looks like I'll have to grumble, copy paste. Oops. Copy paste. Okay, I'm gonna actually move this PCB out of the way because it's bothering me when I'm typing. Don't actually need the PCB quite yet. Yeah, I think someone needs to go into the layout macro and just, or not the layout macro, but the layout directory in QMK, go to the 75 ANSI default and just add an extra layer that's basically blank. Yeah, it's like, okay. So one of the reasons why I even got into QMK is because I fell in love with 60% boards. If I had stuck with TKL, I actually doubt I would need any of the, you know, any of the layer mappings that I use right now. Like really, I have a super basic key map. If you guys look at my QMK repo, you'll see that all I really use is like what? F-row and arrows. That's it. Nothing complicated. Like nothing like Mr. Droshna. If you guys don't know who Droshna is a fellow QMK collaborator. He is most well known for his love of RGB. And he also has very complicated key maps. Yeah, I feel like out of all the QMK collaborators, I might have the most simple key map. Just because I don't really do all that much different. Let's see. Let's line everything up. Line everything up so I can see everything better. Extra comma right there. And all these things. Oh, man. Right. Amtro says missing comma, glove cost, duplicate comma on line 30. Really? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What's happening? What's happening? 244 raiders from Teha types have joined. Have I played Valorant? I want to play Valorant, but Valorant is only on Windows, and I use macOS. I use macOS, so I'm going to have to wait for that to happen, or I need to boot up my Windows machine from 2010. But yes, don't make me jealous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Everyone's asking. Everyone's spamming. Holy crap. Stop spamming. You make me jealous. All right, here. For all of you guys just joining in, Nathan, thank you so much again. Thank you so much for your support. Tonight we are taking the TGR Jane V2 with the original boot mapper client PCB, and we are porting that to VIA so that we can, so that people can have an easier time changing key maps and all that. It was recently made possible, and this is actually one of the first, if not the first, boot mapper client PCB that will be supporting VIA. It is my hope that at the end of this, at the end of this stream, I can officially declare boot mapper client defunct. That VIA will completely replace it. Because even though you can get QMK firmware on boot mapper client PCBs, a lot of people have been saying, okay, QMK firmware is still difficult. Even with QMK configurator, people don't like having to reflash their board every time they change every single thing, So they stick with boot mapper client, and I don't blame them. In fact, I'm a longtime user of boot mapper client. But tonight, hopefully we can change that. We can change that and, finally give boot mapper client its long-deserved rest. Dun dun dun. Let's see. People shaming me for my use of macOS. Let's see. Mtro Time says missing comma on line 34. Hexabot says, wait, you do this for every keyboard? No, not every keyboard, just the ones that I have time for. But after doing this for 1 year, I think I ported into QMK probably around 50-ish keyboards. And I think this is my 12th VIA port. Yeah, I think this is my 12th VIA port. So yeah, just riding along and all that. Line 34. All right, let's go look at line 34. Where on line 34 am I missing that comma? There we go. Space. Perfect. Perfecto. Green TXS, what does port mean to a regular English speaker? Well, two things. Porting means taking, in the context of software engineering, porting means you're taking maybe a piece of hardware that works on one operating system, for example, and you're making that hardware work for another operating system. So in this case, we're taking a board such as the TGR Jane that was originally on Bootmapper client. We ported it to QMK firmware, and now we're getting VIA to work with it. Olivia says, yay, we should have a celebration. Well, Olivia, I will party with you any day, but we can't be more than 6 feet from each other, apparently. Yeah. Bronze Chen says, what is QMK? QMK stands for Quantum Mechanical Keyboard. It is an organization which has many products such as firmware, toolbox, configurator, and quite a few other things. Firmware is by far the most popular one. It is a community-driven keyboard firmware for boards like the TGR Jane and several others. Oop. So yeah, tonight I am drinking Hierophant Meadery's Chrysopia Dry Mead. I'm currently on a mead kick. I like mead. It's a very light wine, and it tastes very different from anything I've tried before. So I like it. So far, so good. Apparently, Hierophant Meadery is located here in Washington, down by Battlefield, actually. Battlefield is about a 20-minute drive north of Portland, Oregon, for those interested. So if any of you guys are from the Pacific Northwest, check them out. Another cool thing about Hierophant Meadery is that a portion of their proceeds goes to preserving the dwindling honeybee population. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, let's get back to getting this work done. The stream has been going for roughly 30 minutes and I haven't really coded too much. Olivia says it is. Was the Leaf 60 I reported? Yep. Make sure I try a flavored mead. The regular is nice, but a blackberry one. Very nice. Alright, let's get back to doing this. I am in the middle of getting QMK firmware to enable VIA. And right now I am creating a key map. So all 4 layers have to be defined because VIA likes to have 4 layers defined. So as long, if you don't define all 4, then it's just, the layers will just be populated with garbage information. So I got 0, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Perfect. Looks good. Let's see if we can compile it. It's compiling, woohoo! Okay. So one thing about key maps is, especially on a board like this, you want to be... Actually, scratch that. I'm not going to say that. I'll save that for later. Let's see, what else? Oh, Amnesia. Another fellow Seattle. Well, I'm not reading it. I just want to delete it because we don't need that. Do we need the readme? No, we do not need the readme. What we do need, though, is a file called rules.mk. And this is by far the easiest way, or this is the easiest part. To enable VIA, you type in all caps VIA _ enable equals yes. That's really all that's needed. The next thing that you want to do is highly recommended but not mandatory is using LTO _ enable. LTO stands for link time optimization. And what this does is it optimizes the compiling of your firmware so that you use less space. Hexabot says, do you put extra spaces for easier reading or something? I'm assuming you're talking about the key map. I like to organize it in, like, okay, so if you look at the actual key map, it's organized like how the board physically looks, but when it's all the same key code, KC trans, it's easier for me to see them if they're more like organized in a column and a row pattern. All right, let's see. So those are the only things you need to do. Another thing that you need to do, this is the last part of doing the QMK firmware portion, is you need to go to config.h. You see these two values right here, vendor ID and product ID. This is how VIA differentiates keyboard A from keyboard B. So you have to have a unique vendor ID and a unique product ID pairing. Otherwise, you know, if you have all the same vendor ID, product ID, VIA might look at your board and be like, ah, that's a KBD67, or ah, that's a GH60. So you need to make sure that this is unique. See, 20A0, I don't even know what that stands for. Like, I ported this board. Why did I pick 20A0? Let me just do like a hex to ASCII converter. Just figure it out. 20A0. What does that do? That doesn't really say anything to it. How about 422D? What does 422D is be my, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, why did I do that? Ooh, oh, so many people talking. Cozy says, McMerlin, need to also add mouse key enable equals no an extra key. Oh yes, that is a very good point. Zyroski says, do you know what driver is for the DZ65 RGB V2? It should just be your generic keyboard driver. What? 18 raiders from Plume Keyboards. Thank you so much, man. I was watching you earlier and you had that mustache on you. So yeah, I think the last time I saw you, you had the fireman hat. Now you have the mustache. I should send you a wizard hat. That's what you're missing. That's totally what you're missing. I'm gonna Plume Keyboards. I don't think I have you on Discord yet, but I will search for you. Or you can ping me, because I would love to send you a wizard hat. Plume says, that's a beaut you got there. Thank you. This was a very... I'm very humbled with this board, because I received it for free. Special thanks to UXC for doing that for me. It was completely unexpected. And yeah, I never thought I'd be able to own a board of this caliber, but look here, you know? Yeah. Yeah, it's... All I asked him for was like, hey man, send me some schematics or like a PCB so that I can get this board into QMK. And he's like, sure, I'll send you some hardware. Like 2 weeks later, a box shows up. I'm like, what the hell? What kind of hardware did he send me? And yeah, he sent me this. So maybe this Saturday, a few days from now, I'll be building up the Jane. But ironically, not with the PCB that I'm programming tonight. I'm actually using Heine Bush's PCB because he's got ESD protection and native QMK and VIA already. So, you know, I'd rather use his board than the Bootmapper client board. Meg Nova says he sent it for keeps or to port and return. He sent it for keeps. Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy. So this board is mine. GMK Merlin will look beautiful in it. But yeah, hold on. Let me just figure something else here. Okay. So what I just did here was I was curious what the 20A0 vendor ID was. And I think 20A0 is the vendor ID for Win-keyless keyboards. So every board that had bootmapper client had the vendor ID of 20A0. And as I explained earlier, that is going to be a big problem for VIA. VIA is not going to be able to differentiate them. So we need to come up with a better vendor ID. Let's see, product ID, is that? Who else uses that? Okay, the Alice and the B Mini EX. Oof. Okay, yeah, we can. Let's change that. Let's change the vendor ID and the product ID. Make Nova. I see that bit donation. 69. Thank you so much. Singapore. What are we drinking tonight? I am drinking mead. Drinking mead. Probably. I may be making a bold claim, but I think mead is humanity's oldest alcoholic drink. Mead. It's either mead or wine. I'm actually pretty sure it's mead. Pretty sure it's mead. Cyroski says, what monitor is that? This is a LG monitor that I got from Costco. I'm not particularly familiar with the model number, but it was advertised as the gaming monitor. Max Feeling says, wouldn't the same VID be fine as long as the product ID is different? That's true. But if we, okay, because if we look at all of them, if we look at all the vids in here, it's pretty much every single bootmapper client keyboard. I think what I want to do is I want to tie the vendor ID to the actual vendor who is responsible for the board, and that would be TGR. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna pick one. I'm just gonna pick one. Pick one off screen. Let's do TG. What is TG in hex? 5447. Is 5447 used by anyone here? 5447. It is not used by anyone. Perfect. Is 5447 used by any other keyboard in QMK? No. Perfect. Okay, let's use 5447 for TG. Let's do that. 5447 TG, and product ID is 422E. No, let's not use that. This is the Jane, so let's call it the JN. JN is 4A4E. 4A4E. Like so. And that should be all you need. TG and JN. Alright, let's compile it. Compile TGR/Jane :via. Oh wait, hold on. I think it was Cozy who reminded me I need to, let me scroll up. Yes. Okay, so the thing with 32A microcontrollers, you have a couple more things you need to disable. So that would be mouse key enable equals no, and extra key. Okay, perfect. And compile. Dynamic key maps are configured to use more EEPROM than is available. Oh no. Well, that sucks. Shoots. That means we're using a little bit more than intended. Let's see. Can we remove anything here? Yeah, I don't have any macros defined. I don't have more than 4 layers. Let's see. I can probably disable other features, such as command enable. Let's do that. Let's disable command enable. Let's see if that saves us more space. Please work. Please work. No! Dynamic key maps are configured to use more. I wish it would tell you how much more room you need. Okay, we can keep disabling things. Let's see what else is out there. Mouse key enable, extra key enable. See, console's already disabled. So I feel like I've already... Backlight enable, really? Well, here, let's, okay, just for kicks, we'll disable backlight for the time being. Will that help? No, that doesn't help either. Oof. Okay. Next thing to do is start deleting layers. Start deleting layers. Let's take that out. Let's take out the 4th layer. You'll have to define dynamic key map layer count to 3. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Let's take that out. Okay, pound define dynamic key map layer count. Okay, I'm gonna need the config file, huh? Okay. Dynamic underscore key map underscore layer underscore count 3. Don't forget to pound define that. Okay. Let's see if that does the trick. Oh, of course not, because I screwed up. Multi-line comment. Blah, 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 blah. That's so annoying. That should do it. That should do it. Please work. Please work. Woo! Woo! It's working. Yeah! 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 Alright. Okay. We are going to not do command enable and backlight enable. Just because I'd prefer not to have to turn those off. Will it still compile? Bingo. Awesome. Okay, we're good. We are good. Thank you so much, Zark, for that pound define. Then thank you, Cozy Fanatuti, for reminding me about these 2 extra features that we need to disable. Perfect, perfect. Okay, we're good. And you know, if you guys watch any of my other VODs, I didn't have to do that because I think this is the largest board I've ever tried to get into VIA. If you talk with Olivia actually, or any of the VIA devs, they will make it known that they would like people to move to more modern microcontrollers, such as ARM, because Atmega32U4s or Atmega32As do not have that much space on them. So, you know, if you have a board as large as a TKL, or if you guys saw my build this past weekend, the Budget 96, that's going to be difficult. That's going to be difficult. I was actually hoping to do this on the Budget 96, but I was anticipating some space issues. So I figured I should probably do it with something awesome. Something as awesome as the TGR Jane. Check it out, guys. I'm really psyched. I'm so happy. I just really want to build this soon. All right, okay. And with that, I think I can... Actually, no. I won't flash the PCB quite yet. I'll just finish all the coding first, and then we'll do all of the flashing. Okay. Next up, you need to work in a completely different repo. Not even in the QMK organization, but in the VIA organization. So let me just transition to that repo really quick. Zark is saying his STM32L082 has support for 50 layers. What on earth do you need 50 layers for? Oh man, I just realized I am drinking this wine way too fast. That is not good. I may get loopy very soon. Alright, yeah, pardon me guys, I am just setting the stuff up for all of you to see. Okay. Alright, so this next part that I'm gonna do, you guys can all do this because there's like instructions online. Basically just go to caniusevia.com, which Olivia actually linked in chat. Caniusevia.com. You click on the Docs tab, and it will tell you how to fabricate the JSON file that you need for VIA to detect your board. So just read all of this, you know, read all of this. I've already gone through this multiple times through multiple streams. Definitely check out my VODs for other examples. But yeah, this is all the stuff that I'm following. I know this already. Occasionally I'll forget it, but thankfully I have people on chat who will call me out on it. Make Nova says 69 bits. Thank you so much. Chug the rest. I am unfortunately unable to do that because that is against Twitch's terms of service. I will continue to drink though, but I cannot drink based on donations. Alright, okay. Let's talk about okay. So one part of supporting VIA is you can start off with the Kali. This is probably the more straightforward bit where you don't need any form of coding, you don't need any kind of dev environment. So since this is a TKL board, let's go with the 104 full-size keyboard and just remove that numpad. Ghost Grixie says, is that a 3D printed case? Yes, that is a 3D printed case. That is my Sweet 16, which I built 2 weeks ago. You can see the build stream on YouTube. Sweet 16 from 1UP Keyboards, 3D printed case from Thingiverse. Had a coworker print it for me because I don't have a 3D printer, and I don't really know any store that would have one nearby. Cozy says, 100 bits, thank you. Casually drink your mead at a low pace. If you guys haven't heard of Cozy Fanatuti is the proprietor of CFTKB. He makes these things, coasters for my drinks. But he is more well known for boards such as the Discipline 65, the Romeo, which is the newest 40% board, the Mysterium, which is a TKL, and quite a few others. Definitely check out his website if you guys have a chance. All right, let's get back to this. KLE. Okay, I am deleting the numbro or the numpad because the TGR Jane is a simple TKL board. Okay, let's see. Let's just, what you want to do here is remove all alphas. So you start with a clean state like this. And I just realized on stream, it is really tiny. Let's make it big. You guys like it big, right? Lana likes steak, says, oh, just realized the Alice is on Via. Putting that on right now, definitely. Yeah, it is. I still remember, like, way back in the day, I was talking with Wilba about this. Wilba was like wanting to come up with a software such as Via. And I was saying that, you know, a tool like Via would bring more people into the hobby, which is what I'm all about. So I'm very excited to see how Via does. Salt Rock Lamp subscribing at tier 1. Thank you so much, man. All right. Okay, gonna do a little bit more prep here. When you're coding stuff, you always have to, like, let's see. Lots of things to do. Salt Rock Lamp, I feel like I haven't seen or chatted with you in ages. Hope you're doing fine. Okay. Wonder how compressible the Via config is. Compressible. What do you mean by that? There it is. There it is. That's what I wanted. Yeah, pardon me guys, I'm just doing stuff off stream that's not particularly interesting, but relevant. Here we go, here we go. Okay. Okay, okay, I got this. I got it. I got it. Boom, boom diggity. Salt Rock Lamp says, I'm doing well. Good to hear that. Good to hear that you're staying safe there. Starting to get busy doing actual project instead of just bantering on Discord. Sam says, will you also be porting Jane V2C or not? Yes, I will. Apparently, someone on stream. Let's see. Before all you Teha types people joined in, someone messaged me saying that they wanted to send me the V2CE so I could do this exact same port. But yeah, I guess I will check Discord once the stream is done, and maybe we will do it next time. we'll do it next time. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. So my policy is, if you guys want any boards ported to QMK, assuming it's actually possible, I am more than happy to do it for you for free. All I ask is that you pay for shipping to and from me. That's really all my requirement is. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about what I'm doing here. So, what you want here is, you still need to look at QMK firmware. We're going to talk about real, let's see. If you go to jane.h or keyboard.h, like whatever keyboard you have, you look at its .h file, you want to pay attention to the layout macros right here. You know, in our case, we want to pay attention to layout TKL ANSI, because TKL ANSI is the default TKL layout that you're seeing right here. In QMK, this is what's called the layout macro. So the layout macro is divided into two parts. This first part is the physical matrix, which corresponds to what your board actually looks like. This bottom part is called the electrical matrix, which corresponds to how all of your switches are connected in relation to the microcontroller. So if you look here, it's pretty straightforward, right? It goes K00 all the way to 0B. What each of these guys mean, like this first digit stands for the row number, second digit stands for the column number. And you're like, so what does that mean, Merlin? If you go to your config.h file really quick, see, I've labeled it as such. So for example, if you were to pick, let's pick this guy, K37. This is the switch that is connected to row 3, column 7. Go to your config.h. Row 3 is B3, column 7 is A7. So it is the switch that is connected to pins B3 and A7 on your microcontroller. So yeah, so in terms of what we want from VIA is, we just need to pay attention to the layout macro, like so. Okay, and we want to imitate these numbers, or we want to replicate these numbers in your KLE. And you want to do that in the top left. So this has 5 rows. So we are just going to, you know, just pre-populate them really quick and edit as we go along. Oh man, I think I'm starting to feel a little tipsy, guys. This is more alcohol than the mead from last week, but still a lot less than port. Port is typically 20%, 19 to 21% from the ones that I've seen so far, whereas this mead is only 12%. So I don't know, has my resistance gone down? Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so yeah. Let's see, let's go back. Let's go look at this. That very top row, row 0, goes from 1 to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then that last key is a bit different. So let's start there. 1, 2, okay, I will not count out loud because that can be annoying. Okay, and that last key is 6B, so that would actually be 6, comma, what's B? 11, 11, B is 11. B is 11, perfect, okay. Now we want to look at the second row right here. It goes 1, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, then 6E. Okay. Goes all the way till, wait, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oof, I'm a little confused here. 10, 11, 12, okay. 13, and then it changes. It goes to 13, okay. 12% is a dangerous amount, says Off Sam. I will tend to agree because I am starting to feel it. But it's good. I'm 2 glasses in. I normally try to stop at 2. So let's see how long I can hold off on that. Because this mead is very, very delicious. More delicious than mead, I might add. I mean, more delicious than port. $10, 11, 12, 13. Those last keys are 6, 6, and 6. Okay, that's 6C. C is A, B, C. 10, 11, 12. D is 13. E is 14. Perfect. M12 trying to say it may be easier to edit in raw data mode. It is a lot easier editing in raw data mode. I'm particularly showing this way so that viewers who are not necessarily software engineers can see that this is totally doable without any coding experience or any of that sort. And plus, the more you drink, the more you need visual representation so you don't mess up. Okay, this one goes K20, 9, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, also goes all the way to 13. No problem. Plus, this is probably the most time-consuming part of a VIA port. So once we get this all done, everything should be smooth sailing. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, throw salt over your shoulder, all that good stuff. Okay, so after that, it's gonna be K7C, 7D, 7E. Okay. $12, 13, 14. Perfect. And then it should be so much simpler. 3, 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. 10, 11, 13. Okay. Let's backtrack like that really quick. Could probably write a script to do it with sane defaults. So the thing with sane defaults is that assumes that, like, you would have to make the assumption, you would have to make an assumption about the switch matrix. And from experience, a lot of bootmapper client boards are not as sequential as the TGR. Some of them are all across the board. quite literally. Okay, row 4 is skips the 1, jumps straight to 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Goes all the way to 12. 12, and that arrow key, that up arrow key is K2E. So that's 2, and E is A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, the fifth one, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Last row at last. Oops, I did not mean to do that. K50. 5-1, 5-2. It goes to 5-5, 5-8, 5-9. 5-10. Then D is A, B, C, D. 10, 11, 12, 13. 5-14, and then it's what? That's so weird. 3-14 and 4-14. Okay, perfect. That's good. 3-12 should be 3-11. Should it be? Oh, you're right. You are correct. Should be 3-11. All right. So now VIA actually does colors of the keys. So we're gonna make things a little bit colorful here. And did you guys know that default for VIA is GMK Olivia? This shit should be embedded in the firmware. Okay, hold on. Let me just peek at GMK Olivia really quick. What did the modifiers look like? Or the function row? Okay. It's only these guys that are mod colored. Okay. Okay, that looks good. What music track is currently playing? I am currently playing a song called Slow Food by Yellow Bass. Okay. So, another aspect of VIA. Wait, why is this doing? Okay. Another aspect of VIA is you don't need to pick. There we go. Let me give you guys an example. You guys don't need to pick a layout similar to QMK Configurator. You know, you can't. Let's find something better here. So you guys don't need to pick the layout you want, right? Because the flaw with QMK Configurator, right, is you pick the layout, like you pick the layout of the keyboard as a whole. For VIA, you can pick the layout on a per key basis. So what you can do here is, let's see. So I'm going to explain what I'm doing as soon as I set this all up. But I'm basically, you know, this is the backspace. Or the HHKB backspace and slash. I'm gonna do Mr. Hank says, thanks, Merlin. No problem, man. And hold on. Does this PCB support Sangen? Looks like it. Yeah, I think it supports Sangen. Except it's not really. Okay. This might be something I need to edit once I've actually built the board. Look at that. Okay. See, so this is another drawback about having to pick stuff based on layout. You get this. You get layout all, which means every possible location for a switch. And you look at that bottom row, that's just what? That's ridiculous. Right, okay, so for now, for the time being, I'm just gonna go with this for now until I actually build the board. Just so I can demonstrate how, so I can demonstrate and also see if this board can support VIA or not. Okay, here we go. Let's do. So what we want to do is just populate these based on what the firmware tells us again. It's pretty simple for now. That's 412 and 413. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's change that color. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. So what I've just done here is basically I've put on every other layout. So for example, over here, we now have ANSI and ISO keys. We have a full right shift and a split right shift. We have a full left shift and a split left shift. So how does VIA differentiate what layout to use? The way to do that is through another property. This one you put on the bottom rightmost section. And you have to do it from top to down, left to right. So for example, this guy right here, this backspace, we're gonna do the same kind of numbers. It's gonna be 0, 0. What 0, 0 stands for is this is group 0, option 0. Option 0 should always be the default case, which in this case is a standard 75, or it's a standard TKL ANSI. Right? Then these guys right here, it's part of the same group. It's part of the same backspace group, so that's going to be 0, but it's a different option, so option 1. The next group down would be the enter key right here. And in this case, since the ISO enter key will take the place of pipe, you want to select that too. This will be a whole different group. Group 1, and since this is the default case, option 0. The ANSI will be group 1, option 1. Simple like that. The next one, since we're going top to bottom, left to right, would be the left shift. This is a whole different group again, so we're going to call this group 2, option 0. And the split will still be group 2, option 1. And finally, the right shift will be a different group again, group 3, default case, option 0. Split will be option 1, like so. And once I actually figure out what the bottom row is, I'm gonna do more of that. But for now, this is what we need just to test things out, all right? This is what we need just to test things out. So what we're gonna want to do is I'm going to set things up again. Reach up says, could I make left shift also 1, 1 for example? Well, that's where the problem is. My default case is always going to be ANSI, and since I'm the one programming this, my decision is king. So yeah, I guess it depends on who's programming it. If it happens to be someone from the EU who uses ISO as a standard layout, then for sure the ISO layout will be the default case. But for me, I'm located in Seattle, Washington, so my default case will always be ANSI. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm doing now is we are actually going to be in the VIA repo. This is a completely different repo than QMK. All right? Completely different repo than QMK. Rechap says, I mean not as default, more like 1, 1 for ISO enter and ISO left shift. So I guess that depends on how you define a group. So in your case, you're defining ISO itself as a group, which includes the enter key and the left shift. But if you look at boards such as the Cherry MX, Oh god, what was that board? It was the really big one that had macro keys and a numpad. Those boards sold here in America had an ISO key, but a regular non-split left shift. So I don't want to include more than 2 keys in different parts of the board as the same group. Studio says 1800. No, it is not the 1800. Okay. So here we go. We want to go to the source directory. And what board is this? This is TGR. We are going to want a new directory called TGR, obviously. And then within the TGR directory, we're gonna want a file called janev2.json. Bam. And because I am lazy, I'd like to refer back to some of my other work, such as the KBD Fans KBD67 Mark II. And I prefer to copy and paste all of that stuff in and just delete stuff that I don't need. For example, the key map. This is gonna be a completely different key map, so I'm gonna delete that first. Strip that out right there. Name, TGR Jane V2. Vendor ID, what did I set that to? I've already forgotten. Oh my god, I just realized I didn't actually save that file. Holy crap. Okay, let me just go back and take care of that really quick. It's 5447 for the vendor ID. Vendor ID was 5447, which stands for TG, and product ID was 4A, 4E, which stands for JN. Okay, yeah, I just did that really quick. All right, here we go. See, so I've set the vendor ID and the product ID to match exactly what it is in firmware. You guys can do everything completely right, but if you mess this part up, VIA will never detect your board. So make sure this matches exactly what your firmware says. Okay. So for lighting, the TGR Jane, what does it have? Okay, it's got backlighting, but I believe since it doesn't actually come with RGB underglows, I chose to disable that in the firmware. So we're only going to support backlighting. And I have forgotten what backlighting is in VIA. So we're just gonna read documentation really quick here. Specification, required properties, lighting, none. You can do, lighting property can be either a preset, none, QMK backlight, or QMK RGB light. Perfect. We will do lighting QMK underscore backlight. Perfect. like so. And the matrix needs to be, what was the matrix? Matrix size was 8 by 15. I guess that's a typical size for a TKL. 8 by 15. Okay. So now this is where we have to go back to Keyboard Layout Editor. You click on Raw. And you don't copy and paste the raw. You in fact do download JSON. Why? What is this? Okay. And you open it up. You take all that. Select it all. Copy and paste it within the key map property. Like so. And you should be good. Next up, open up VIA. I think VIA is currently at 1.2.7. I believe Olivia just updated it a few weeks ago. And as you can see, my Series 60 here is being detected in VIA because it's using a Zeal 60 PCB. And you see arrows right here at top right. And it's detecting my Sweet 16, which I also ported into VIA. Let's see. So what we want to do is go to the Design tab. If you guys don't have a Design tab, it's probably because you didn't enable it in the Settings tab. You know, Show Design tab. See that? So you want to go to the Design tab, and you want to open up the file that you just created, TGR Jane v2. If you did this correctly, assuming I'm doing it correctly, if you did this correctly, you should get a very nice visual representation of your TKL. So let's see if I did this right. Fingers crossed. I've been known to mess up, especially when I'm under the influence. Open. Woo! 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 All right. We're good. We good, boys and girls. There are girls in the audience. Okay. Awesome possum. All right, we're now gonna flash to TGR Jane with the firmware that I built in the first part of this stream. And with any luck, things should work out great. Things should work out great. Okay, so how do I reset this board? Dang it, I always have to look this up. How do you reset this board? According to the README, hold down the key located at K00, commonly programmed as escape while plugging in the keyboard. Perfect. That makes it all the more simple. Okay, let us short the escape key temporarily and plug it in. Plug it in like so. Come on. Now that is a tight port. Okay. All right, hopefully this works. Okay, hold on. Let me close VIA first, because this is more dramatic. Like, if it works, it's more dramatic after I open up VIA and then plug it in. Okay, make Jane VIA : flash, enter. Hopefully the board entered reset properly. Error opening HID boot device. Access to device denied. What? what's going on? What is going on? Let me take a peek at the code again. I suspect I know what's going on. So close, yet so far. Okay, I guess I just didn't put it into... Let's try that again. Let us try again. Let us try again. Shorting it via escape key. Please work. Please work. Okay, because this board doesn't have any LEDs, there's no visual indicator that I actually put it in bootloader mode. So let's try again. Jane via flash. There we go, it's flashing. It's flashing. Let me show you guys. It's flashing. It's flashing. 43 raiders from Mechs on Deck have joined. Thank you, on Deck. You guys are joining in on the tail end of the stream. I have finished the VIA part of the software, and I have just flashed the VIA enabled QMK firmware onto the board. So now, the moment you guys have been waiting for. Will VIA work on Bootmapper client? And will it actually replace Bootmapper client? Let's find out, shall we? Okay, so that's my ZL60. Let's do what I did earlier. Go to Design tab, load up the JSON file. And oh my gosh, if this works, I'm gonna be so psyched. VIA on the TGR Jane V2. Open. Okay, everything looks good. And when I click configure, VIA should detect the TGR Jane. Look at that. There seems to be something missing. Seems to be something very missing. And I think I know the reason why. I absolutely know the reason why. I forgot to actually put labels here. I forgot. Hey Wilpa, thanks for joining in. Okay, what? We need to go back and edit that JSON file again. We need to edit that JSON file. Hold on, guys. Let me just grab the stuff I need. Yeah, I completely forgot to actually put, what do you call that? Labels. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So what we want to do is these labels here need to correspond to the different groups that we have defined. So the very first one, top to bottom, remember, is going to be backspace. So backspace, we can just call it split backspace. If you call it split backspace, it'll just be like a toggle key, so users can toggle it. The next one should be enter key. Actually, let's do it. If you want a user to be able to make selections and not just an enter key, then you have to put it in an array like so, where the first index will be the label, and the next ones will be all of the options. And see ISO. Its label's not, oh, really? Okay. That's probably why. Labels. Thanks, Olba. Feel like I'm still missing something here. And then left shift. And then right shift. That should be it. Hold on, am I doing this correct? Ah, okay. That's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing. Needs to actually be a bracket. There we go. Okay, okay. So let's go back to VIA. Let's go back to VIA. Load up that JSON file. Okay. And configure. Boom. Wait. Okay. There we go. There we go. All fixed up and good to go. Look at that, guys. Isn't that pretty? Everything is as it should be. I would give you guys a lighting demo, but since this board doesn't have any lighting, it's, yeah, this is VIA on the TGR Jane, guys. Here, just to give you guys a short demo of some of the amazing things that VIA can do. Here, let me show you guys. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to layer 1 and we're going to set the Q key to be a macro, to be macro 0. Let's do that, right? Okay. And I'm just going to change this to MO1 so we can access it. Then we're gonna set the actual macro 0 to be VIA is now on the TGR Jane V2. Hooray! We're gonna set it to tap enter at the end of macro and save. See, so that's all I've done. The board is still connected, and I just realized it's gonna be a hard time for me to short 2 keys. So I'm just gonna move. I'm actually just gonna move that here. Just gonna change the Q key to there. There we go. There we go. Okay, perfect. There we go. See? So where is my little shorter? Check it out. I am triggering the Q key with my little wire here. Boom. See? So easy to make macros now on your TGR Jane. Yeah, so guys, I'm not sure how many people on stream have actually used Bootmapper Client and VIA, but I've been a long time Bootmapper Client user. I've used it for several years actually. I used it probably from about 2014 till early 2016 on several Sprit W boards, a Face W board, and a bunch of associated clones. So it's been like, I can confidently say that VIA can replace Bootmapper Client. Like, it does everything that Bootmapper Client can do. You know, before the stream, I actually tried it on other boards, especially boards that had underglow and backlight, and it worked. And it worked. I feel that VIA can actually replace Bootmapper Client, and we can actually finally lay Bootmapper Client to rest. Of course, this is just one board. This is probably, I don't know, if not the first, then maybe the second Bootmapper Client board to support VIA. If any of you guys want to help in the effort, definitely check out this VOD, or whenever this becomes a VOD, and my previous VODs to help me put more of these boards in. But yeah, I think Bootmapper Client can finally, you know, die. Can finally die a death. So I'm not sure if you guys are hearing that, but here we go. It's been good getting to know you, Bootmapper Client, but I think it's finally time. If you guys have Bootmapper Client boards, Bootmapper Client was officially retired when winkeyless.kr shut its doors. That tool is no longer being updated. Very few people who have forked it are probably doing minor updates, but once again, it's all over the place. VIA is going to be your best bet for this, so Bootmapper Client, I think it's time to say goodbye. This might actually be like, I feel like this is the first instance in our community in which a tool can fully replace another tool. So thank you very much to people who actually created VIA. Olivia, Wilba, thank you so much for all of your efforts. Without all the work that you guys put in, I know you have a huge team behind you. So yes, send my regards to everyone there as well. And yeah, this is monumental. This is monumental. Yeah, like bye-bye BMC, literally. Like, okay, so QMK is great and all, but as I said in the beginning of the stream, it's still difficult for people because you still, like, even with QMK Configurator has made it really, really easy for people to make their key maps, but flashing the board is still like the issue that people have. I get so many questions on a weekly basis. Merlin, I can't flash my board. I can't blah, 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 blah. It's just too difficult for them. And if they had a Bootmapper Client board, they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna do QMK at all. I'm just gonna stick with the Bootmapper Client because it works. I think this stream demonstrates that VIA is a very suitable replacement for Bootmapper Client. I think this is it, guys. It's okay, Olivia. I think we have made our point. I think we have made our point that this totally works. This totally works. Everyone who is holding out on Bootmapper Client because it's still so much easier to use than QMK Firmware. I think this is your answer. Once someone actually does the work to support it in VIA can do everything that Bootmapper Client can do, and it's a lot easier to install. There's actually documentation for it. There are people in the community who are really, really helpful, Olivia and Wilba included. You know, imagine if you have an issue with the Bootmapper Client, who do you reach out to, right? Who do you reach out to? And because of that, I am going to pour myself another glass. I'm going to pour myself another glass. And yeah.
In music, you're basically...
Let's see, I'm trying to play bagpipe music from YouTube because I couldn't really find anything on my regular service. But yeah, here we go. Here we go. Bootmapper client. It's been great knowing you. Thanks for all the good times. Thanks for all the easy key map flashing. But Via, thank you so much for making things happen. And thank you very much to the devs, Olivia, Wilba, and the rest of their team. I am officially declaring Bootmapper client dead. And you heard it first here. I am really happy right now, guys. This is literally... This is literally groundbreaking. This is the first instance where we can truly replace another piece of software in our community. Yeah, let's see, let's go back to one thing that I did not do on stream. For those of you guys who are watching this after it's live, one thing I did not do on the stream is I did not account for the bottom row variances, simply because I don't know which one is which at this point. But I will know. I will know during the build stream this coming Saturday. And I will append this. But for now, I will PR the QMK Firmware part of it. And I will PR the VIA part of it at a later time once I've confirmed what this bottom row is. But yeah, this shouldn't change anything else in VIA. Like, if anything, what it would change... Here, let me bring up VIA again for all you guys to see. Here, you can go to the layout section right here. Split backspace is a toggle key. You guys can see that toggling. Enter key, you can do ANSI or ISO. Left shift is toggleable. The bottom row will be its own thing, and it will work similar to the ANSI, which you should be able to pick regular, like standard, WKL, Sangan, all of that. Yeah. But yeah, that will come later, and that will come soon. But yeah, yeah, all of this would not have been possible if it wasn't for. Let me link that PR for everyone to see. This was something that we had been waiting for a long, long time. Of course I can't find it when I'm looking for it. But yeah, there was a PR into QMK which implemented raw HID for vUSB devices, such as Bootmapper client boards, and VIA uses raw HID. But yeah, after that was merged in, it became possible for VIA to do this, and I am so thankful. Super thankful. So all of you guys out there who have been very, very concerned about switching from Bootmapper client to QMK is because you're afraid that you were going to lose that dynamic key map creation, that dynamic lighting. Rest assured, your board will be supported by VIA soon. It just depends on who has the time, who has the energy to actually work on it. All right. Right, I'm pretty happy right now, guys. But yeah, it's funny that I would work on this board more when my TGR Jane is actually going to be built with Heine's PCB. Vilba says, Merlin, that PR also lets VIA work with the plaid, the discipline, etc. I know Cozy Fanatuti, who was on stream earlier, is extremely pleased with that because I believe he exclusively uses the 32A because only the 32A microcontroller, is actually through-hole, you know? So with him doing that for the longest time, he was kind of he was kind of out of the VIA loop. But with this in place, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, Cozy says I use Atmega 328P on Romeo and Dissipad, I mean. Very nice. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. This has opened up a lot in our community. Yeah. I'm very happy. Bootmapper client can go bye-bye. Bye-bye, Bootmapper client. Gosh, I feel like, okay. For those of you who have been in the community for a long time, there are actually many clones that follow the Bootmapper client PCB design. And yeah, we can use VIA to like support them all now. Mr. Hank says, I'm sure this has been asked, but what makes a board able to work with VIA? Or is it pretty much all boards but just need dev? So number one, VIA only works on QMK powered boards. So the number one requirement is it needs to be QMK able. So to be QMK able, you need to have like the right hardware. So that's usually like the right microcontroller, and the bootloader should be open. You should be able to flash something onto it. On top of that, you need to have sufficient EEPROM space, and you also need to be able to have raw HID on it. Until about last week, that was the problem with Bootmapper client boards. They did not have raw HID. But now we do. So things are moving on very, very quickly. I think right now the next, I'm not too familiar with all 700 boards in QMK, but the other one that could use some VIA love is this. So let me pull it out. Olivia can like weep at this because this is actually her board. This is Olivia's board. This is the Matrix Noah. The Matrix Noah. The Matrix Noah uses a microcontroller, uses an ARM microcontroller that for some reason, I believe Zark was explaining it during one of the streams, was that you can get VIA to work on this just fine, you know? Dynamic key map creation, lighting, all of that's good. But as soon as you unplug your board, all of that goes bye-bye. Bye-bye. No more key map, goes back to whatever was stock on it, you know. So that's next. That's what's next. Olivia, look, it's your board. I will return it to you one of these days once I can get it working. Yeah, TLDR, I built this board for Olivia, and then I flashed it using the instructions provided, and it bricked the board. So I'm kind of like, well, crap. Well, crap. So I am in the middle of trying to fix it and all that. Does it live yet? No, it does not live at all. It is dead as a doornail. Here, look. I'm gonna demonstrate how dead it is. I'm gonna plug it in. And see, no lights at all. And I'm gonna type in chat. Nothing. It's dead. It's completely dead. There are many people with the same board that have experienced similar results, and one lead that I have yet to try, someone recommended, oh, instead of dragging and dropping the firmware, like They told me dragging and dropping the firmware onto the flash drive that like appears break their board, but when they used Linux commands, using CP to copy the file to the actual flash drive, everything worked. And I'm just kind of like, why in the world would that work as opposed to dragging and dropping? That's like literally the same thing. Like maybe underlying it's like a completely different set of commands, but I have not tried that yet. I will do that on another time. But yeah, this is such a nice board. I was hoping to do a typing test on it. Duncan Yo-Yo says the file manager may make a blank file. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I discovered that for Mac OS at least, on Mac OS, if you plug in the flash drive, Mac OS writes certain system files to it. And on a board such as... Why is this playing? Okay, never mind. Let's close that. On a... What was I saying? I completely forgot. Alright, let's put the board away. This will be another challenge for another day. Let me plug in my Sweet 16 again. Oh yeah, Zark says yes, Dia store and blob files. Yeah. Those are the files that Mac OS creates. For some odd reason. So you have to delete those files first, because the problem is these boards have very limited storage on them, and the allocated storage for firmware is very little. If you flash a file that's too large, it could potentially overwrite other files on the keyboard, causing it to break. Salt Rock says, I assume you can have the same issue with thumbs.db in Windows. I do not know what thumbs.db is. Don't even open it with Finder, pretty much. All right. Well, guys, I'm just here to finish my drink. I'm gonna finish my drink and chat with y'all, but I am pretty happy tonight. We have successfully demonstrated that VIA works on bootmapper client boards. That was the goal for the evening, and it's always a good feeling when you accomplish the goal. You know, it's a good feeling. So yeah, all of you TGR Jane V2 owners, pay attention to VIA in the next couple weeks or so. You will get VIA soon. And let's see, there was someone earlier on the stream saying they were going to send me a PCB for the TGR Jane V2 CE. Oh yes, it was Jack Static. Jack Static was going to send me one because he happens to have 3 V2 CE boards. So yeah, after the stream, I'm supposed to chat with him on Discord. And that might be the next board that I do. Damage Point, I see you subscribing at tier 1. Thank you so much. Subscribing for 11 months. Dang, man. Mr. Hink says, is this the same canned mead? No, it's not. I was curious as to what other meads there were. So what I ended up doing was I went to my local Total Wine and I picked up this guy right here. Right here. You know. And it's Hierophant Meadery. They are located in Battlegrounds, Washington. Battlegrounds, Washington is basically like a 20-30 minute drive north of Portland, Oregon. So if you guys are in Portland, you guys can visit them too. But this one's called Chrysopia. Chrysopia is apparently it's a term for transmuting something into gold, you know. And the reason why I picked this particular brand is because I just read up on them. Apparently, a portion of their profits go to go to the preservation of the honeybee population, which I think is really important. You know, because the honeybee population is quickly dwindling for some odd reason. But yeah, I'm happy to support them. Not only are they a local Washington company, they also donate to a good cause, so that is pretty awesome. Yeah, they are an off-dry mead. To be honest, I actually prefer the canned mead from last time over this. This one, I like the dry taste, but it just didn't wow me as much as the can. That's the thing. Wow, I'm seeing lots of followers here. Dead Guy, Sour Justine, Frog Chameleon. Oh, man, I guess I must have been distracted by all this VIA nonsense. It's not nonsense. Sir Duanas, Max on Deck. Oh yeah, Max on Deck's rated me. Teki Tomura, HM Factor, Lolling, Off Sam. Thanks guys for all of your support. Without you guys, the stream would not be possible. If you guys want to see a TGR Jane build, definitely tune in this coming Saturday. I think it's time to finally build it, so I will build it. Mr. Hank says, nice. And yeah, bees are super, super important. Absolutely. Without bees, we probably wouldn't have a lot of things today. Salt Rock says, Wilbur, does QMK know what to do with the I2C expanders for the switch matrix, or is that going to require some hacking? As long as QMK is programmed to know what to do with the I2C expanders, VIA should be able to deal with it. You guys have to remember that VIA is literally just a feature. It's a feature that you turn on in the QMK firmware. Yeah, Xenophobia confirms that. So several boards already use I2C expanders, but you have to write a custom matrix scan routine. Custom light. Trust me, it makes it easier. I trust Zark. Yeah. Oh man. So apparently something I learned this week was I am the winner. I am the second place winner of the keyboard bracket for Max on Decks. So I should be receiving a Duck Sidewinder in the near future. I just don't know who's supposed to contact me about it. I've pinged Dixie Max saying, hey man, I'm the winner. And I do want it. But I haven't really heard of what's next, you know? Also, if you guys are longtime viewers of this stream, you know that I am no longer a fan of duck boards simply because they have a really steep angle and that hurts my wrist. No, like they may look nice, but if it hurts me, I'm not gonna like them so much. So I think once I actually see the board, who knows, I might actually like it if I'm leaning more towards taking that board and doing a giveaway on this channel. So who knows? We'll see. I will, however, keep the GMK Hamon that it comes with. Just because I'm a big fan of Zambumon. Zambumon is my favorite keyset designer. Yeah. Alright. This meat stuff is good. I feel like I can drink more of it too, since it's not as high an alcohol percentage as port. Delicious. Delicious. It is my goal to convert all boards that I currently own to VIA. And I own lots of boards, so it's gonna take a while for me. But then after that, I think I'll be open to just helping people get like VIA in. And says, did you join any recent group buys, Merlin? No, I have. Oh, actually, that's not true. I joined the TKC C3 stabilizer group buy. That's what I joined. And a group buy that I'm looking to join is the 7V. It's the 75% board that's going to be that's run by Gawk, and I believe it's going to be on Novelkeys. Novelkeys on the 10th. I believe it's going to be like $400, but 75% is my jam. And also, 7V has a PCB by Wilba. And you know it's going to have VIA off the bat. In 2 days, good choice. Yeah, that's probably the next board that I'm going to get. Currently, I am still waiting for my ID80. The ID80 is, I bought it from AliExpress. Should be here anytime soon, knock on wood. I've already been waiting a month and a half, but 75%, that's where it is. Particle Decelerator says, new show, Meandering with Me. That's actually a good choice. I've been, like, with all of this coronavirus stuff, I've been, like, thinking about what other content I can do. I'm currently pondering if I should purchase a Switch, just because my entire team at work has a Switch, and I get really jealous when everyone's like, oh yeah, let's all go play together, and then I'm like, I don't have a Switch. Cry. You know. So I know GameStop is doing a pre-order, and I think they're shipping at the end of the month, so I might do that and play some Switch games on stream. I've been noticing that I can't exactly play some intense multiplayer games. I'm very interested to try Valorant, but my speed test results have been abhorrent these last couple days. I've been averaging single digit upload, single digit download. It's just terrible. It's just Comcast, and with everyone streaming on Netflix and all that, I'm just not sure I can do it. If you guys watch my I'm paying for 1,000 down and 45 up, but I've been getting like 3 down and 3 up. I have no idea why. Like, if you guys watch my Crunker stream from last week, I was struggling. I was struggling really bad. Duncan Yo-Yo says, whatever you do, don't get one from Amazon. They are going for 500. Oof. What's my most anticipated board? Says Monka Minka. I was really anticipating the Satisfaction 75, and I already got that. So there's not really a board that I'm completely anticipating. I guess like the Iron 165 would be the next thing, but I'm feeling like I like the 7V more than the 165. Who knows? Also, with all this coronavirus going on, I kind of trying to be more responsible with my money. Can't just spend 400 just like that, My wife's hours have been cut. She's now like practically half time every day, so we're not earning as much as we used to. So just gotta be a little bit more responsible, but also enjoy life while I'm at it. Hence why I buy mead. Oh yeah, so if you guys caught my stream earlier this week or this weekend, I mentioned that there was a altercation in my apartment complex in which a bunch of police came, 15, 20 people showed up. I finally found out what happened. As I was mentioning, with everyone staying indoors, what people have been neglecting is that this is very bad for people with mental issues, people who are on antidepressants, people who just readily need to talk with people in order to like survive, So what happened in my apartment complex, I guess, is that someone just couldn't take it anymore and got really violent with their kid, and neighbors called the cops. The guy had a gun, apparently, but the cops were able to disarm him, but yet he didn't come peacefully, so they did have to get rough with him. But that was just really scary. Like when my wife left, it was so like my wife and I were going out that day, and we found like at least 15 cop cars just in our apartment complex. They were like, okay, let's not be here. Let's go do our thing. So we went grocery shopping, and then we went on a run. And when we came back, it's like there were only 2 cops left. But still, it was kind of like makes you realize that staying at home sucks, but people who have actual issues sucks a lot more for them. Yeah, like I've been reading reports that domestic violence is on the rise, so are divorce rates, and so are suicide rates. So I guess just if any of you guys, any of my 101 viewers right now, know people who are just not all right to be stuck at home all day, make sure you give them a call. Make sure you check in on them. Check to see if they're all right and all that. This is a very trying time for many people. The Anj says, and birth rates in 9 months. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for joining me on this 2-hour stream, 2-hour-ish stream. I accomplished exactly what I wanted to do tonight. I wanted to show that VIA works on bootmapper client boards thanks to certain PRs that have been merged into QMK. If you guys were here from the start of the show, hope you guys found this educational. I have other VODs where I do basically the same thing, so check that out too if you wanna see me do things a little bit differently, But yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. My next stream will actually be this Thursday. I'm going to attempt to play a game with my abysmal internet connection. What that game is, I do not know quite yet. And if you guys want to see a little bit more, of this beautiful board right here, the TGR Jane V2, courtesy of Yuxi, tune in for my Saturday build stream where I finally build up this glorious board. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear your masks, and be considerate of others. Catch you all next time. Goodbye now.